With the college basketball season coming up, can the Red Raiders recreate that magical season that they had a year ago? After some trades and some horrifying injuries, is the Golden State dynasty coming to an end? Will the Texas Tech soccer team win the Big 12 tournament? Can the 49ers stay atop the NFL mountain and go to the promised land? And with so many games going on this week, who will come out on top and claim victory? Find out next. MCTV Sports 101 starts now. Hey there, sports fans, and welcome to MCTV Sports 101. I'm Austin Seat.
And I'm Ryan Heller. With the college basketball season coming up soon, the Red Raiders will start their season against Eastern Illinois. But after their best season in school history, making it to the national championship game, Tech loses 4 out of 5 starters for the season. With that in mind, can Tech recreate that magical year with the new talent coming up? Austin, what do you think?
You know, I got to say, after coming off that season, I mean, it was magical. There was passion. There was everything. We made it all the way, and then we were so close.
Virginia.
But yeah. But on to the question at hand here now. So I believe Tech can, maybe not as big as what they did as what they did last year, but with the new talent that they got coming up, with David Morietti leading that team, along with Chris Beard, who just got a big contract extension, I think they can recreate that team. But also, the talent that they got coming up, he went out and got 2 new grad transfers. I believe that it's Chris Clark and then TJ Holyfield.
Very good grad transfer.
Clark from Virginia Tech and then Holyfield from from
Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah, Stephen F. Austin. But they also got 2 really big freshmen coming up this year. They've got Jahimian Ramsey did I say that right? I'm sorry.
Jamias Ramsey.
Okay.
Jamias.
Look, I apologize, but some words are difficult, okay? I apologize for that. If you recognize me from last year with AD, you understand. But anyway, Jamias Ramsey and then Terrence Sherman Jr. So they've got a good, strong talent coming up this year. What do you think that they're going to do?
Well, it's not just that, but also it's all the way for the future next year. We also got a recent update about a 4-star recruit, Micah Peavy, who just won a state championship for his school. He committed to Texas Tech, so that's also good.
Oh, yes.
But to me, I think they could possibly make it back to the Final Four this year and possibly even a championship. Because think about it. We went to the national championship game with no 4- or 5-star recruits. So just imagine what we can do with multiple 4-star recruits. Just imagine, and Chris Beard with the incredible defensive mind that he has. Jamias Ramsey, which, by the way, yes, I know words are hard, but that still makes it funny, even though. Jamias.
We have fun here on this show.
But really, though, he's an incredible player. I saw his highlights. The guy's a beast. And TJ Shannon, by the way, this guy is incredible. I think that those 2 should have been rated 5-star, to be honest with you, because of what I saw in their talent. And Chris Clark, very experienced grad transfer. So is TJ Holyfield. That's what Chris Beard wants. Not just good grad transfers, but ones that are experienced, guys that have been there, done that. And I think that with that talent, I think we can avenge last year's players like Culver and all those guys. I think we can get to the championship and possibly, hopefully, this time win it. Refs, behave yourselves.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season.
For real.
Well, the Golden State Warriors were at the top of the mountain in the NBA with a list of star players. However, after a recent loss in the 2019 NBA Finals to the Raptors, Kevin Durant's Achilles injury in the NBA Finals, and then eventual trade to the Nets, Klay Thompson having an ACL injury during Game 6 of the Finals as well, and he is rumored to be out till at least All-Star Week, and finally Steph Curry breaks his hand during the start of the season and is out for at least 3 months. So Ryan, I ask you this, is the Warriors dynasty over?
Well, I hope it is. I don't think it's going to be, but I hope it is. Look, now, do I think? Okay, fine. Okay, let me rephrase it. Do I think the dynasty's over? Yes. Do I think that they're going to start tanking like a lot of people on ESPN say they are? No, I don't think they're going to do that. I think they'll find their way back. I think they'll make the playoffs as like a maybe 6-7 seed. I think they'll eventually do that, and then then their playoff experience, they'll be like the Patriots of the NBA. They'll find their way around. But
oh my gosh, those dang Patriots!
And we'll get to that soon enough. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
To me, yes, Klay Thompson's injury Durant, all that. But to me, the nail in the coffin that said to me the dynasty is done is when Steph Curry breaks his hand, and he's going to be out for 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months, okay? That's the length of a summer vacation for high schoolers. I just don't see the Warriors going very far. They're already 1-5. They're already next to last in the standings right now, even though, yes, I know the season's early, but they're already 1-5. And they were 1-3 before Curry broke his hand.
Yeah.
So and they were getting their butts whipped at halftime by Phoenix and all these teams.
Yeah.
I think the dynasty's over, but I think they'll find a way back and maybe be like a.
Well, it's like you pointed out. Like they are essentially kind of like the Patriots of the NBA, and like Steve Kerr, he'll find a way to bring that team up. I mean, he does have his star players out, and they did end up making a deal with the Nets and trading. But they do have a game tonight at home against the Portland Trailblazers, who I think are 3-3 right now.
I believe so.
But what I find interesting is the injuries that are amounting, not just to the star players, but also to their bench. I mean, that you've got Allen, and again, sorry if I butcher these names, Allen Samila, the guy Allen with a weird last name. I apologize, I can't say it. Draymond Green is out. Jacob Evans is out. Kevin Looney is out. And then Stephen Curry, as we said, is out. And then D'Angelo Russell is at game time decision. For the Warriors.
And it's funny because he was the one they were saying the Warriors won the free agent deal by getting D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, sure, okay, whatever.
Yeah. With that injury, it's going to be difficult.
After a narrow 3-point win versus the Cardinals, and after a recent loss for the Patriots against the Ravens on Sunday, the San Francisco 49ers are now the only unbeaten team in the NFL. However, can they continue this impressive streak? And are the 49ers the best team in the NFC? And can they possibly make it to the promised land in the Super Bowl as the ultimate prize? Austin, what do you think?
Ooh, that's a tough one because this is probably San Francisco's best start since, 1990?
1990.
With Joe Montana.
Sometime in the 90s.
Jerry Rice.
Steve Young, all those guys.
Oh, yeah. So right now they're 8-0 overall. They're 2-0 in their division, beating both the Rams and the Cardinals. Now, the Rams are struggling here in a bit after their Super Bowl appearance last year. Cardinals, impressive, but I mean, not. They're impressing people, but it's not really.
They got a ways to go.
So their next game happens to be another divisional rival of theirs, the Seahawks, who are 7-2.
Now that's going to be the opponent to face.
Well,
that's going to be the
Seahawks just came off a very tight, close game against Tampa Bay that went into overtime. But as far as what I think, I think they will make the playoffs easily. Their schedule, I mean, it's one of the harder schedules of the NFL. I mean, you've got your Seahawks, then you've got the Cardinals, then you'll have the Packers at home, the Ravens at Baltimore. That's going to be a tough one with Lamar Jackson. So that Bosa, that defense is going to have a tough time. Then you're at the Saints. So those two games right there, that's going to be tough for that defense. Then you're coming back against the Falcons, and then coming back against the Rams, and then you finish the season out against the Seahawks. So I think they can make the playoffs. The question is, I do also believe that they're the best team in the NFC.
I do
by far.
I think they're the best team in the NFC too.
But can they win the Super Bowl? Is going to be a difficult one because there's some good teams in that AFC East. What's your take?
Because it's funny you said best team in the NFC, not the NFL.
Right.
They are the best team in the NFC, I believe. Now, yes, the Seahawks are playing incredible, being 7-2. The Saints are doing great, 7-1. No doubt about those. But the 49ers, they're still second in scoring. They're still second in rushing, third in sacks, fourth in interceptions combined. Jimmy G, man, 70% completion percentage on the year. That's insane.
And that tight end, Brittle.
Exactly. I mean,
or Kittle, sorry.
I think it's Kittle, yeah. And I think the 49ers, I think if they can get through this stretch, because I think the schedule is going to get easier as they get into December, but their November is going to be tough. They got Seattle, Arizona twice, which they just beat them once, at Baltimore, at New Orleans. It'll get easier once they face the Falcons and the Rams. Both are going to be on at home.
And then finish out against that Seahawks.
Yeah, if they can get through that part, I think they'll be all right. Oh, by the way, I saw a meme on Instagram. Back in 2015, the 49ers would suck, and San Franciscans would say, well, at least we still got the Warriors. Now in 2019, with the Warriors sucking, they say, well, at least we have the 49ers.
Have the tables have turned.
What a tangled web we weave.
Yep. Well, after an impressive win over Kansas State, the Raiders only came second in the regular season. With that, the Texas Tech soccer team played their first game of the Big 12 tournament against Baylor and won it 1-0. With that win, how will Tech continue to look further going into the tournament? Ryan, what's your take?
Well, I think they got a good chance. To me, what's impressive is not just, to me, it's their defense as well. You look at their last 4 games, they've only allowed 2 goals. You look at the 4-1 win against Kansas State, and then the game against Texas, 2-1. But they shut out Baylor twice, and also. And I mean, look at the game against Baylor. Kirsten Davis had 3 saves in that game. Madison White had 3 saves in that game. Kirsten Davis, she scored early, and after that, they were able to really shut them down. And I think, like Texas Tech, when it comes to Texas Tech sports, I guess defense is really, really key because they've been doing very good defensively.
The slogan, defense wins championships.
Exactly.
That's how it goes. That's how it's been for years.
Exactly.
But what I want to point to you out is, so they're playing TCU up next in the semifinal of their side of the bracket.
I think they got a chance against TCU.
It's going to be a close game, I'll tell you that, because when TCU came here to play Tech, I went and watched that game with my family, and it was probably 1-1 for until the last minute when TCU was able to get a score past the goal. So it's going to be a close game, and it's going to be a very interesting game. And the winner of this game goes on to play the winner of Oklahoma State, who was the regular season Big 12 champion
for the championship,
and Kansas. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. But what we want Tech to win, because then hopefully we bring another NCAA tournament home game here to Lubbock. So it's going to be fun.
Because it worked out well against Princeton last year. It seemed to work. So let's keep it up.
Yeah. But what I also want to let you know is, so Texas Tech, as far as the records go, TCU ended up finishing let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So they ended up finishing 6th in the Big 12 out of 10 teams. Well, so TCU they play hard. I watched that game. They do play very hard, very aggressive. They have an aggressive style. So it's going to be an interesting game to watch.
But I think Tech's defense, the way they're going right now, they're rolling. I think the goalie Madison is playing out of her mind right now. I think if she can stay on her game, I think if Tech's able to just get 1 or 2 goals, I think they should be able to win this game.
It's going to be an interesting week, I'll tell you that, brother.
It will.
Well, now it's time for Who You Got. This weekend is a very busy week for sports. To start off, we have Monday Night Football, the Cowboys versus the Giants. Ryan, who you got?
It pains me to make this pick, but I got to go with the Cowboys. I do. I think that the way Prescott is playing, I don't think he's earning the $40 million contract yet.
No, I agree with you.
But like Zeke, he's playing well. Their offense is starting to kick in a little bit now. See, to me, I like Daniel Jones. I think he's got a bright future. But I don't think he's at that level to where he can take on the Cowboys yet. But I think that within a year or 2, I think he will be. But right now, I think the Cowboys have the better edge over the Giants.
Well, brother, I could not agree with you more. I'm rooting for these Cowboys. And what's interesting is, it was hard. I'll be honest with you, brother. It was hard for me to make this pick after the loss to the Jets, and it's their only win of the season, because they lost. The Jets lost to the Dolphins.
So if you think about it, the Dolphins are better than the Cowboys.
No. We beat the Dolphins. You can't put that one on us. We beat the Dolphins. So, but I choose the Cowboys, and I think the Cowboys are going to end up winning the NFC East, which most people said would not happen. So it'll be interesting.
And up next, number 13, Texas Tech will face Eastern Illinois this Tuesday for the season opener. Shouldn't be surprised, but Austin, who you got?
Texas Tech, obviously.
Course.
I mean, come on, brother. We both go here. We all know that miracle season they had last year. We've got to go for Texas Tech.
Exactly. Even if we didn't go to Texas Tech, I think I'd still pick Texas Tech anyway.
Exactly.
But yes, I got to agree. I'm picking Texas Tech as well. I think Eastern Illinois is. I'm sorry, but I think they're just. They're not going to be a match, especially at the USA.
No, hold on, brother, hold on. Let me stop you right there. So, because in basketball, you can't say they're not much of a match, because it's not like football where it's like a big school versus a little school. You know who's going to. I mean, you may have an upset like Appalachian State versus Michigan way back in the day.
Yeah, but just doesn't happen often.
Basketball happens a little bit more than it does in football. So we're both rooting for Tech. But I do agree with you. I don't think with Chris Beard and this offense and David Morietti, I think it's going to be a good one. Well, also in college basketball this season, the season starts with some big games going this year. First up, we have number 3 Kansas versus number 4 Duke. Ryan, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Duke here. I think Duke is the better team, even though they're the 4th seed. But to me, like Duke has a top 3 recruiting class this year. They got 2 5-star recruits, Vernon Carey and Matthew Hurt, and both of those are top 15 ranked national. And also they got a very, very talented 4-star recruit in Wendell Moore, who is ranked 2nd in the state of North Carolina. And also Kansas lost some pretty good firepower last year, including one of their 5-star players, Quentin Grimes, who transferred to University of Houston this year.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Houston now will probably be a dominant force in the American Conference, but that's a different conference for a different time. But yeah, I think Duke right now, plus also Mike Krzyzewski, you can't count him out, and also with Bill Self and all the crazy stuff going on over there, I think Duke has a better chance. What do you think?
You know, brother, I agree. You make some very valid points when it comes to Duke. I mean, they did they did lose their big star player, their big name guy Zion Williams, but he's out in the NFL. He hadn't even played his first game Let's be real, he could play in the NFL. I mean, come on.
He's a linebacker playing basketball.
So, I'm going to have to disagree with you on this, and I'm going Kansas.
Really?
Yes. As much as it pains me, and I mean pains me, because of our football endeavor, the recent football loss to Kansas, I have to go with Kansas in basketball because they're still like one of the top. They're always like at the top when it comes to either the start or the end in basketball season. They're able to keep it good. They're consistent. They're able to pass the ball, move it around. They're able to get points on the board. They've got a good defense. So I'm going with Kansas on this one.
All right. Okay. Interesting. And staying with college basketball, another big game to start the season going down, as well as number 1 Michigan State versus number 2 Kentucky. Austin, who do you got?
This is a tough one. This is 1v2. I'm going to be honest with you, brother. You know that both teams are going to be really good. Like Michigan State lost to us, Texas Tech, in the Final Four, so it's going to be a difficult one. I'm actually going to go with Kentucky on this one.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kentucky. I think Kentucky is more. They're more sound when it comes. Like they're more. Like I feel like they're more complete when it comes to basketball. They've got just like Kansas. They've got a good defense. They've got a good offense. They can put points on the board. They're great chemistry, teamwork, and they've got a good head coach.
They do.
So I'm going with Kentucky.
But it's interesting you say that because so does Michigan State. They got the great Tom Izzo, who, by the way, now has his son playing on that team now, Stephen Izzo.
Another father, like
another father.
Daddy's the coach, and the boy's playing for his daddy. I mean, oh boy, coach's son is what it is.
To me, Michigan State, I think they got an advantage because unlike Kansas and Duke, Michigan State's got some returning stars on the team. Aaron Henry's coming back, Kyle Ahrens is coming back, Cassius Winston is coming back. All 3 of them coming back with some great freshman talent as well. And I think that experience with that youth, I think that's going to be a good combo, and I think they're going to have the edge over Kentucky.
Well, I got to say this to you, brother. On Tuesday is going to be a big week because college basketball is back, baby.
Woo!
Well, on Thursday, we have an AFC West divisional showdown between the Chargers and Raiders. Ryan, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Chargers. I'm going with the Chargers on this one. To me, I think Phillip Rivers is playing well, and also, to me, I just think that they're on a better roll. They got a more complete team, and also Kyle Allen is playing. I mean, I know that Kyle Allen's the quarterback for the Panthers. It's like Keenan Allen. Allen.
Come on, there's a lot of Allens in this league. Let's get him out. Get him out.
Way too many Allens in this league. Keenan Allen is playing great. Austin Eckler is surprising everybody. He's showing that he could be like the pass catcher and running back who could block, who can do it all.
And I'll be honest with you, that is starting to become the standard for most running backs in today's league. It's not
Which
power
is I've been
running
waiting
back.
for. I've honestly been waiting for that, to be honest with you.
It's not power. It's running backs who can actually catch. Like Zeke's doing it.
Right.
Saquon Barkley, Gurley, like you said, Eckler.
But
like
with
a lot
Barkley,
of
though, like he's one of those that can pass catch, but also is north-south as well.
Right. We're getting off track here, brother.
Oh, that's right.
We're
You're
getting off
right.
track. We're talking about the Raiders and the Chargers.
I'm going with the Chargers. What about you?
I've got to go with the Raiders. I mean,
Raiders,
from what Derek Carr, he's starting to fire on all cylinders. He's stated before, this is probably one of his better his better seasons. He's playing under Gruden in the second year. They're doing way better than they did last year. Their wide receivers, he's able to connect with the wide receivers. He's got that team chemistry. The defense is starting to come alive. They came close against Houston. I think they're going to pull it out, especially with it being a divisional game. They're going to come out on top against the Chargers.
Well, it's very possible. You know what? We will see. That's definitely going to be a good Thursday night game.
All I know is we got two good football games coming, Monday night and Thursday night.
And it's not just that. We'll get into that later. On Saturday, the Premier League has a 6-game shootout with Arsenal and Leicester City ending the gauntlet. Austin, who you got?
First of all, I would like to applaud you for saying Leicester City correctly, because I probably would have said something way off.
And I would have started laughing.
You would have started laughing, and if AD was here, he'd probably insult me. But anyway, I've got to go with Arsenal in this one. I got to go with my team. Leicester City is ranked top, believe 3 in the table, so they're in the top 4 to win in the Champions League. But Arsenal, they're coming back. They're not losing. They're still getting points. They're not losing games too often. They're either winning it or they're drawing it. So they're gaining points up on Arsenal or Leicester City, Chelsea, Man City, and Liverpool. So it's gonna be an interesting game. But I got Arsenal.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you on this one. I'm going to go Arsenal as well. See, to me, I think they're going to play this game with a chip on their shoulder because they had this win. Mm-hmm. They had it, and they lost it in the 76th minute late in the game. That's a gut punch. I think they're going to want.
You're talking about the one against Wolverhampton,
yeah,
right? Yep.
Yeah, and I think
that game ended up in a draw.
It did.
So,
but
they still get a point. They still get a point for their table.
They do, but I think that they feel like they should have won that game, that they should have finished it off, and I think that they're going to eventually. They're going to take their frustrations out on Leicester City.
I believe you're right, brother. It'll be a big upset. Well, to finish it off, we've got a lot of games here, brother.
We really do.
We have a lot of games
and
this week.
It's good ones.
It's a big week in sport. To finish it off, we have the biggest college football event with number 2 Alabama versus number 1 LSU on Saturday Night Football. Ryan, who you got?
You know, I've always had a soft spot for LSU, but that's not the reason. But that's not the reason why I'm picking LSU. That's not the reason. Even though, yes, I've always had a soft spot for them. I don't know what it is. But to me, if Tua's not going to play, and it's going to be Joe Burrow, also another Heisman Trophy candidate, versus Mac Jones, I'm sorry, but I just think that LSU's got too much firepower. They're too much of a complete team, and I'm not saying Alabama isn't, because they are. I can't remember the last time they've lost 2 games in a regular season. I can't, but
it's been a long time for the.
It's been a long time.
For the millennials out there, it's been a long time since Alabama has lost 2 games.
But I think that with Tua out, I think that LSU is going to take advantage of this. Who do you got?
Brother, my brother from another mother, I am disagreeing with you 1,000%.
Really?
I've got Alabama winning this. Now, it's by a touchdown. It's going to be a close game. I've got them winning by a touchdown.
Without Tua, you think they're going to win?
It's Nick Saban, brother. If Nick Saban's at the helm, he can do anything.
Oh, God, Nick Saban.
You can't go wrong with that. Nick Saban is like Bill Belichick. He can get his team focused. He can get anyone in at that quarterback position. He can get them started, familiar with the play calling, and help him win football games.
Nick Saban never got his butt whooped in a championship game. No, wait, Bill Belichick never got his butt whooped in a championship game.
But I don't ever recall Bill Belichick playing in college football.
That's true.
Either.
That's true.
I don't remember that either. But I've got Alabama winning this by a touchdown, even if they don't have Tua. But I do think they will have Tua on that team.
Well, we shall certainly see.
Isn't it going to be an interesting week in sports?
It will be.
Well, that's all. That's our show for this week's edition of MCTV Sports 101. Join us next week for the latest big name stories in sports. I'm Austin C.
And I'm Ryan Heller. See you next time.
Ba-boom.
Oh, yeah.
Better.
Way better.